Oh yeah, Lucio in the house.
Hello and welcome to Lucio, the Freedom Fighting DJs. So, let's go ahead and just jump right into this one. So, Lucio is pretty interesting as a movement character. So let's go ahead and talk about his passive first. His passive, as you can see, is he can move through units, and he gains a 20% increased movement speed whenever he walks over impassable battlegrounds.
Where we going again?
So, for example, these trees, you can kind of see, I'm going to move up here so it's slightly better. When he's jumped up on these, you can see this wall ride over here. And when you have that, you have an increased 20% speed. When it runs out, it drops. So yeah, pretty simple. Allows him to move through units, but allows him to get nice little speed buffs just kind of by standing on things. So it's nice to have him near a bush or something just to be like popping in, grabbing that movement speed just so you can kind of maneuver a little bit better. You also saw he is able to shoot while moving. One of the few characters who can do that. Actually, I believe he might be the only character who can do that with his auto attack, but I'm not completely sure anymore. There's a lot of them now. So let's talk about his abilities. You can see, here's the damage for his Q. It's his throw. So he can throw you around with it. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. His fade. He has the ability to give you a speed boost for his team, or a healing boost. Let's take a little bit of damage so we can kind of show off the healing. He does a little, he only heals a little. However, he is constantly healing, so a little goes a long way. And when he has teammates in range, you can see, same with his crossfade, you can see how many people you're helping. Here we have Amp It Up, his final ability, or his E, which allows him to charge up. So, if we amp it up against healing, you can see we greatly increase the amount of healing. And if we go to the speed version, Amp It Up allows us to move at a greatly increased speed. And throwing out the numbers, you can see there.
I hear that.
So, as you can see, he can shoot while he moves, and he skates or dies. So he has no mount. For the most part, Lucio's pretty straightforward with his abilities. You're either healing, or you're running, or you're shooting people. Yeah. So let's go ahead and start looking at his his stats. You can see here. We're gonna hit the first checkpoint.
Choose a talent.
Level 20.
Choose a talent.
And level 30.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
As you can see, none of his numbers are extremely impressive. So he ain't gonna shine anywhere too heavily, but he's fun. So that's gonna help out a lot. So let's go ahead and start looking at his talents. At level 1, we have We Move Together. Increase the base movement speed of your crossfade's speed boost by 20%. Maximum Tempo. Killing heroes while crossfade's speed boost is active. When you kill 5 of them, it permanently increases the Amp It Up to 60%. So as you can see here, the Amp It Up 65 and speed boost normally is just 15. Accelerando, wall ride's movement speed gradually increases to 40 over 4 seconds. And Slip, passing through or near enemy heroes increases your movement speed to 70% for 1 second. This one's a little tricky for me. None of these really scream game breaking. I like Slip because it just kind of allows you to
Here we go.
touch somebody and then just get out of there, which is really useful if you're going in, queuing somebody off, and then running. And as you can see, changing the crossfade doesn't actually change these. So you don't get any healing bonus from these. It's just additional movement speed. And additional movement speed's great, but not overly great. So we're going to go with Slip.
Choose a talent.
At level 4, Subwoofer. The first half of the sound wave range knocks people back 50% farther off the wall. If you cast while wall riding, having the wall riding speed bonus, it reduces the cooldown by 3 seconds. 7-second cooldown. And a quest, hit 20 heroes, increases the arc by 50% and the range by 20. I like off the wall. It also, as I was saying, you kind of want to keep at the wall so you can kind of keep bouncing so you can run in, get your movement speed bonus. So off the wall is pretty good in my books. At level 7, Party Mix. Play Lucio's crossfade tracks to nearby allies for a total of 8 minutes. And the more allies you have, the more you get. And it permanently increases range by 20%. This is great, especially if you're duoed with somebody. If you're by yourself, you can almost never get this because people are going to walk away from you and like, motherfucker, I'm the healer. Stay with me. And they're just like, oh, I'm dead. It sucks. Sonic Amplifier. When you have at least 2 allies nearby, when you amp it up, crossfade's radius increases by 50% during the duration. And you have this nice little number here to keep track of that. And Boombox. Place a boombox that plays your active crossfade for 30 seconds. Its volume adjusts when you amp it up. You can't stack them, however, it does allow you to place a your heal somewhere else. Party Mix is great if you're in a party. Boombox pretty much otherwise. So as you can see, and actually that was a bad place to place it. Let's go ahead and place it there. So as you can see, when you change, it changes.
This is gonna make you feel better.
And it's a cute thing too. I mean, look at it. It's adorable. Level 10, we're going to take Sound Barrier. Ally heroes gain shields.
Choose a talent.
Where we going again? Oh, let's break it down.
It works within the range of your crossfade for the most part. I don't believe it extends if you finish your crossfade. I don't think we have any there, but...
Oh, let's break it down. Moving to the beat.
So, and if I place that there,
Oh, let's break it down.
it doesn't work with your boombox. Sad, sucks, but I mean it's a huge shield and
Oh, let's break it.
only takes a second to drop it. You can see how much you gain. Very critical in fights. At level 13, Beat Mix. After switching crossfade tracks, if the next song plays for at least 1.5 seconds, you gain a shield that lasts indefinitely. Switching the tracks will remove the shield so you can't stack it. However, it's a little bit of a shield and that's pretty good. Can't Stop, Won't Stop. While wall riding's movement speed bonus is active, Lucio's immune to all slows and roots. Hard Style. Gain armor while wall riding and back to the mix. Heal for 800 upon entering a stun, silence, or time stop effect. I don't really like this one because it basically means step in front of a stun or a silence to get some health. And, I mean, that's not what it means, but it could save your life if you get stunned, but you don't want to get stunned. You'd probably be better off with Can't Stop, Won't Stop. I personally like Beat
Choose a
Mix
talent.
because it just gives you a little bit of a shield that can help you stay alive. At level 16, Soundwave blinds enemy for 2.5 seconds. I'm not even going to try to do that. Rejuvenation music. When you amp it up, Crossfade's healing boost heals for an additional 3% of the target's maximum health for each second. This changes your heal from a number heal to a percent-based heal, making it extremely valuable to tanks. 300, like that's 376 health. That's nice, but for a tank, fuck that. 3%, however, that's a number. And it's additional to it, doesn't change it. Bring it together if at least 2 heroes are nearby when you amp it up. Heal boost is increased by 45% for the duration. And up the frequency. Amp it up's mana cost is reduced from 100 to 80, and dealing basic attacks to the heroes reduces its cooldown by about a quarter of a second. Has a 15-second cooldown. Personally, I kind of like the cooldown. Like, it's fine where it is. Rejuvenation just pretty much, if you have a tank, it wins. If you don't, I mean, you're dead anyway by the time you hit level 16.
Choose a talent.
At level 20, we have Bossa Nova. Reduces the cooldown, and the shield now lasts slightly longer. Bonus track, swapping crossfade tracks while Amp It Up is active will set Amp It Up back to its maximum duration. It can only work once per cast, but it can mostly double your abilities with Amp It Up, especially if you've taken maximum tempo or some of those other Amp It Up increases. And we have Synesthesia Auditive. Yeah, I probably shouldn't even have tried to pronounce it. The initial cast of Amp It Up removes all stuns and slows and pretty much everything else on Lucio. So, bonus track is nice sometimes, but usually not. So you're going to want to take your upgrade to your shield. And as you can see, it does go down slightly slower now. We're going to go ahead and reset.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
We'll just grab a couple of quests just so we can. The reverse amp.
Choose a talent.
Yeah, we'll go with that shield
Choose a
again.
talent.
Keep up with this.
We'll go with the
Choose a
slow.
talent.
So reverse amp. Blast your crossfade track at enemy heroes for 4 seconds. If it's healing, it causes damage. If it's speed, it causes a slow.
I hear that.
So
Feel that bass.
let's see if we can get this to.
Remix. I'm on target. Turning it up.
And I might be using speed, which might explain everything. Sorry for that. I'm like, why isn't this working? So as you can see, it changes your heal to damage. It's pretty nice if you're in a group. It doesn't work against minions or mercenaries, but if you can get a nice handful of heroes, you can drop them a nice little bit of health pretty quickly. And then at level 20, while reverse amp is active at least on two enemy heroes, the duration lasts indefinitely. So to show that, I'm going to go ahead and summon up. What's a good set? I was going to say the Lost Vikings, but I don't see them. I think Rexar, maybe?
Woo! Jackpot. Now that's my jam.
Let's give him a moment to get out here. So as you can see, I do have the healing one on.
Oh, this is my jam.
And do I need to toggle minions to Summon. Okay, there's Misha. So as I was saying, so if you got it on at least 2 people. Now, of course, they can break it just by walking away, but if you can drop that in a nice team fight, you're healing your team, you're damaging theirs. And you drop that slow on them, they're not getting away. And it's especially useful against characters who are multiple heroes. I don't believe this works on Cho, but while we're here, Cho'Gall's apparently not on the list, so never mind.
I hear that.
Anyway, I hope that was interesting, and I hope it helped you understand some of the talents you might have had some problems with in the past. And have a wonderful day.